What's up everyone, this is FP6 bringing you some more Go Battle League battles here in the Ultra Remix Cup, and in today's video I'm going to be showing some battles where I'm using this team that actually allowed me to push up to number 12 in the world and break the 3400s in MMR rating there. So the team is G-Fisk in the lead and then Armored MEWTWO and Tangrowth in the back. So the thought process behind this team: G-Fisk has a good amount of neutral leads in this Ultra Remix meta. You do need to look out for like the water types, like specifically Politoed, as well as the counter users. Scrafty in the lead is a big issue for this team, but you can kind of see in some of these games how I play out that scenario. But I actually kind of alternate between using Armored MEWTWO or Tangrowth on the safe swap if I do end up losing the lead, depending on what the lead is. And so you'll kind of see that play out in some of these games. But let's jump right into these battles. Definitely some fun ones. Surfetched in the lead. Really not good at all. So I'm going to swap into Tangrowth. This is my softer counter to Surfetched. This is not a Surfetched counter, but it is at least a neutral matchup, and my opponent is staying in. I forced the CMP tie, and I'm going to bait with a Rock Slide here and see what they want to do. They end up shielding, and then they bring out Gengar. This is totally fine for me, because if they get too greedy, I will be able to land 2 Rock Slides and take out this Gengar. But I can also just let this go, and I know that Surfetched is so glassy and the Vine Whip damage that I did with Tangrowth that now an Earthquake is going to threaten it. So at this point I have to fully commit to the farm down with my G-Fisk. I knew that this was not enough energy for Focus Blast, so no need to shield. They're most likely going to bring in the Surfetched once again, but they have to respect the Earthquake here. So I'm just going to go straight for it, either take out the Surfetched or get the last shield. I get the last shield, get an insta swap to MEWTWO, and in the back is G-Fisk. This is where Armored MEWTWO, first of all, if you've never used Armored MEWTWO, you will be incredibly surprised by how bulky this thing is. Second of all, its moveset is really nice for coverage. Dynamic Punch for the Steel and Dark types. Confusion is a pretty solid, heavy-hitting, decent energy generation move. And Side Strike is a very good charge move, as we know. And so you can see I'm just going to be able to land another Dynamic Punch here. I should be able to take out this G-Fisk. Down it goes, and the confusion damage is really adding up on this Surfetched. They throw a Leaf Blade. It's not enough to take me out, but at this point really all I need to do is get to a Rock Slide. My Mud Shot goes through while they're throwing, so I need to under tap this Rock Slide. I do survive that Leaf Blade. My G-Fisk is a hundo. You can see the IVs on the screen there. And I do have the best buddy boost on it as well. I do feel like this team is fairly accessible for people that are struggling to get XLs, because G-Fisk has been in A's for a long time. They were even spawning in the wild during GoFest, and you've had lots of opportunities to get those XL candies. Armored MEWTWO has not been in raids in a long time, so you might have to trade for one of those if you did not raid Armored MEWTWO when it was first originally out. But this is a team where they had Scrafty in the lead, and I think I remember this team. This is like absolutely hard counters, but I actually end up getting a shield from that Hypno, which is good for me. They are running Fire Punch, so it's good that I know that. I have to farm as much as possible with this G-Fisk and just accept that I'm going to get hit by a bunch of Fire Punches, because the only way I can deal with that Scrafty is if I continuously chip away at it. And landing an Earthquake on the Scrafty would be really big. So you see me undercharge my Rock Slide because I need to Mud Shot this down. This Fire Punch damage is completely negligible. The energy is what's more important here, because I'm going to be stuck against the Scrafty regardless. I'm going to throw the Earthquake, and they do end up shielding, which is okay with me. I really need to get to a Dynamic Punch here, and this is tough, right? Because I have to make a call whether or not they're baiting me. I do correctly shield up the foul play, which is good for me. I'm able to get to this Dynamic Punch. These confusions are single resisted. That's not enough to take out the Scrafty. In the back is a Jellicent. This is extremely bad for me. The Shadow Ball, I'll probably barely survive this. but what's really bad is they're going to be able to hex me down. So this is a scenario where I was not able to overcome the Scrafty lead. Scrafty lead is very, very tough. If they like switch in a Scrafty on my team, because I also ended up playing the same people like a lot, and so some people were safe swapping Scrafty, and so I kind of had to adapt my strategy a little bit. And I've been thinking of some different team comps that utilize some of these Pokemon like G-Fisk and Armored Mewtwo, but have a little bit better Scrafty coverage. But you're always going to be weak to something with whatever team that you build. So you kind of have to decide what that's going to be. The higher I climbed, the more Scrafties I ran into. Because go figure, this Ultra Remix is very XL heavy. And you are at a significant advantage if you run XL Pokemon in Ultra League Remix. That's just kind of how it is. Which is unfortunate, right? I think we've talked about this in some previous videos as well. But the accessibility of Ultra Remix is just an absolute joke. But this person led Machamp, and once again I set my G-Fisk up for a nice farm down against their poison types. I successfully baited on the first Rock Slide, and this is a very risky bait right here on this Rock Slide because I'm not going to get to an Earthquake regardless, but I do get the shield. I'm going to swap out, and in the back is a Snorlax. Oh, I remember this game. This game still haunts my dreams. So here's my thought process here. Dynamic Punch is not enough to KO the Snorlax here. It does slightly under half. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I need 2 Scythe Strikes to KO this, but it's a terrible play. It's a terrible play. All I needed to do was click Dynamic Punch here, and then I could have confusioned down. So I'm wasting all this energy. But this was still kind of in the early stages of me learning this team. So this is a prime example of just me making a really clunky mistake. And even as hard counter as the lead and the swap-in was, I still could have won this game if I didn't fumble the end there. Very, very close. Rock Slide wouldn't have KO'd the Machamp at that range regardless, and they win CMP. So well played to my opponent, terribly played on my part. Gallade in the lead, totally fine with this. If you've noticed in the video so far, I've like only run into counter leads. So finally a neutral lead here. And I do shield up to close combat. That's very good for me. And they swap into Snorlax. I still have my Mewtwo for their Gallade. And so I'm going to bring out the Tangrowth here, and ideally what I want to do is get my Tangrowth as low of health as possible to reduce the farm of Gallade, but also have as much energy as possible. So I'm trying to keep track of the Snorlax's energy here. I know the Snorlax is not going to shield, because what their thought process is they want to farm down my Tangrowth so they can rip off another close combat onto my G-Fisk. I know that's exactly what my opponent is thinking, so they let it go. I'm low health with a good amount of energy. I'm just going to go straight for the Power Whip here, hoping to get a shield back, and I do. It's very good for me. Now, I have Mewtwo, which is a much better response to this Gallade. I am resisting the confusions while I'm hitting for neutral with my confusions. Leaf Blade really doesn't do that much damage. They are staying in and allowing me to farm. So I'm just going to commit to farming them all the way down to see what they got going on in the back. Let's see it. What is it? Oh, it's a Excadrill. So gonna throw this Dynamic Punch, and then I'm one confusion away. But actually, I burned the last shield, and then this allows me to safely get to an Earthquake there and one-shot the Excadrill. Able to get all of my counters aligned where I needed to be. Good game. Gengar in the lead. My Tangrowth needs to avoid this. So out comes Politoed, there comes the lag, and I have a very quick immediate response to the Politoed. I throw Power Whip right away because I want to see how they respond, whether or not they're going to shield. They're going to get to their heavy hitting move anyways. If it is Blizzard, it's worth a shield, but they only went Weather Ball, so they actually don't have Blizzard. So wasted shield on my part, but plus I would have survived a Blizzard anyway, so that was just a stupid shield. But my thought process is that this Tangrowth is so healthy that being down a shield doesn't matter, because this Gengar has to throw a heavy hitting move to take me out. Now, I had 2 responses to the Gengar. I had G-Fisk and I had Mewtwo. So that is why I swapped out of my Tangrowth there. because there was no sense in just staying in there and continuously letting them farm. Out comes Machamp, and I cannot believe that they no-shielded that rock slide. I should have just went straight Earthquake. But now I need to get a really big farm with my Mewtwo here, and then I get a Confusion through, which is very good for me. I need to burn the shield with a Side Strike, and then this Confusion damage will have done enough where I'm going to be able to land the Rock Slide for the final KO here. You can see these Confusions are just chunking. And if my switch clock is up, I'm going to... Oh, I'm staying in because I wanted to force them to throw. But then I swapped right there because I wanted to convince them to think that they could farm me down. So I swapped mid-animation and throw the Rock Slide there. Good game. All right, Jellicent lead. This is fairly neutral. It is running Hex. People play this all sorts of different ways. Sometimes they bubble beam me right here. Also, I lagged and was like not able to get to that move like I normally am able to, but that's okay. They went straight Shadow Ball. That's fine by me. Now, what I like to do here, technically, because Mewtwo kind of struggles against this. Oh man, I get baited with Bubble Beam here, which sucks. I'm just gonna throw another Earthquake and then probably swap to my Tangrowth. It's a tough decision. Okay, yeah, I do let this go. It is the Shadow Ball. And I'm going to swap Tangrowth right there. Try to put on a lot of pressure. I keep getting this obnoxious stutter lag. They got so much free energy on their Snorlax when they came in, which is just really frustrating. Going to go straight for the Power Whip. And the fact that they bring out a Snorlax as a response to my Tangrowth was very interesting to me. Farming. Gonna throw this Power Whip here. Their Jellicent has loaded energy and is still a little bit too healthy for my liking. And guess what? It's a Scrafty in the back. So that is good game for me. This is really bad. I needed to somehow like burn their final shield there and then try to land a Dynamic Punch. They correctly go for the foul play. This opponent baited me perfectly. Because if I remember correctly, this is a power-up punch. Yeah, they correctly landed all their nukes. They correctly baited me. I had unfortunate lag on the swap-in, which allowed them to continuously get an energy advantage. So unfortunately, not able to come back from this. Scrafty, as we know, is tough for this line. So whenever I see it on my opponent's team, I know I'm going to have to be kind of creative with how I handle that situation. But other than that, this team has been very, very successful for me. So A9 lead, very positive for me. They instant swap, and I'm going to instant swap my Tangrowth. And again, I like throwing this Power Whip before they throw a move because I want to be in control of whether they shield or not. They let it go. Now, this time I actually play it smart because I know they have an A9, so they're going to farm me down. So I no shield that, and then they leave the game. So I had pretty good counters there, I guess. Good game. All right, Armored Mewtwo in the lead. This is totally fine for G-Fisk. And I want to see where my opponent is going to spend their shields. I go straight for the Earthquake and very surprised that they shield. I tried to catch a heavy move on my Mewtwo, but was unsuccessful. But I am up a shield. I have like a full health G-Fisk. And I have a Mewtwo with loaded energy against this A9. Totally fine by me. I'm at 96 energy here. After throwing 8 Confusions. And so I have back-to-back Side Strikes. Down goes the Ninetales. I have a very healthy Mewtwo. Pretty much full health G-Fisk. They bring out their own G-Fisk. And honestly, at this point, the game is over. I have a shield advantage, and I have everything aligned where I need to. I under-tap this Dynamic Punch. I know it's going to do a lot of damage. Tangrowth can easily handle this G-Fisk, and my G-Fisk can easily handle their Mewtwo. It doesn't even matter how much energy they have built up, so my opponent concedes the match there. Good game. Alright, Deoxys in the lead. This plays out pretty similarly to the Great League, where none of their charge moves can really do anything, but it's the fast move damage that really adds up over time. I go straight for the Earthquake. They let it go. That's very good for me. None of these charge moves are worth shielding, but I don't like taking all of this counter damage. They're going to throw again. most likely I'm just going to go straight for the EQ on this move and then see where they want to spend their shield. If they shield, I most likely get out of here. Yep. Gonna go straight into my MEWTWO. It walls off this energy pretty nicely. Out comes Kingdra. Okay. I need to get this side strike off before they land a move. They're probably gonna go for Octazooka, which is really annoying. But these confusions are just chunking. I think I do shield this, and it's Octazooka. That sucks, and I get debuffed. You'd love to see it. I cannot farm them down, and then I lose CMP on this Octazooka. And I get double debuff. So I'm actually quad debuffed now. Very nice. But I have switch advantage still. I'm just going to insta swap to my Tangrowth. I don't want to get farmed all the way down. I am constantly getting this stutter lag every single game. Very annoying. They're going to Psycho Boost. Double Psycho Boost. We've already seen a Kingdra. Wondering, oh, it's actually a Dragonite in the back. And this is where Tangrowth is so clutch with the Rock Slide coverage. I did feature this team comp in one of my earlier videos, but I ran Meganium instead. And I was thinking to myself, Tangrowth just seems better because the Rock Slide coverage is a little bit more beneficial than the Earthquake coverage. At least you can hit back with the Flyers. And it definitely helps me out in this game. I'm barely able to get to this Side Strike. Really good for me. And I burned the last shield, instantly going to go into my G-Fisk shield, whatever this is, and can pretty much just mud shot it down. Yeah, good game. All right, another Jellicent lead. They are running Hex. Now, this is what's supposed to happen. I'm supposed to be at Earthquake energy right here. Now this opponent, I don't remember what their name was, but they play this the exact same way every single time. And I know because I've been matched up with them like 3 times in the last couple days. They always bubble beam first. And even if it was a Shadow Ball, I would have no shielded. But the reason that they do that is because it guarantees that they can win the no shield from there. They can bubble beam once and then double Shadow Ball and take that matchup. Alright, I wanted to force the Snorlax to superpower me because this allows my MEWTWO to farm it all the way down. I stayed in it with my G-Fisk regardless of being debuffed because I don't really have a better response to this Snorlax. Now it's debuffed, and MEWTWO coming out of this with a lot of loaded energy puts me in a very nice spot. They probably bring out Jellicent. Oh my gosh, they bring out Scrafty and then they try to catch a dynamic punch on their Jelly. So, but this is still going to be really tough for me to handle. I'm going to throw both of these Side Strikes. And then I'm going to swap here. I know they have Bubble Beam, so I really don't want to get debuffed. They do go for Bubble Beam right there. Oh, I remember this game too. Oh man. Why the heck did I not shield that? Now none of my Pokemon are healthy enough to deal with this Scrafty, which is just unfortunate. All I needed to do was shield that Shadow Ball, and I'm in a much better spot. I think I just straight up win this game if I shield the Shadow Ball, but I'm debuffed, so I need to... I would have had to clear my debuff and then land 2 Power Whips, and I think I would have been able to do that. I would have had enough health to make that swap. I probably would have been countered all the way down, but I would have survived whatever their move was. Yeah, so unfortunate. I lost track of the Jellicent's energy, and that cost me the game. So definitely my fault. All right, very favorable lead. Out comes Jellicent, and I'm very quick to the response with Tangrowth here. This is very similar to how I like to play all of the other water type swap-ins here. I want to throw the Power Whip before they can throw their heavy hitting move, because this puts me in control of where the shields need to go. And I'm able to farm them down, which is good for me. They're going to bring out Nidoqueen and get a little bit of a farm, but this Power Whip is going to hit for neutral. Totally fine by me. G-Fisk is the better response to this Nidoqueen, but MEWTWO still does fine. Even if they Earth Power me, that's fine by me. At this point, I'm really thinking that my G-Fisk has served its purpose here. It's a Snorlax in the back, so I was incorrect. It has more of a purpose to serve. They do shield up my Earthquake. Nice play. I am staying in because I want to force them to superpower me once again, so I can, their defense and attack will be dropped, so MEWTWO has an easier time. I know they're not going to superpower me here. They do not want to debuff themselves. I survived the body slam. This allows me to throw this rock slide. I know they're not going to shield. Oh, they actually do end up shielding that, which, I mean, this is totally fine for me as well. I really just can shield and probably farm all the way down. Land a side strike on the Nidoqueen. I'm just going to throw this, get rid of this. I don't want to deal with any debuffs or having to worry about any earth powers. Nidoqueen is going to be able to handle this Snorlax. Or MEWTWO is going to be able to handle this Snorlax no problem. I don't know why I'm over farming here. I'm just getting fancy. Showing them that I can get to this dynamic punch and no bubble for whatever sort of flex, I guess. Good game. Very favorable team alignment for me. Okay, Machamp lead. This is tough. Gonna swap into Tangrowth. They're staying in, they're staying in, they're staying in. They tried to catch on Drifblim, but oh no. Now I have a loaded Tangrowth, and these rock slides are just going to put so much pressure on this Drifblim. I get off 2 rock slides before they can even get to Icy Wind. So that's a scenario there where I was reading that they were going to try to go for the sack swap. Why else would they stay in there and keep farming, keep farming, keep farming? So the fact that I didn't throw really put me in a nice scenario here. They have given me an opportunity to win switch, and I'm recognizing that. I know that I can get to my next rock slide before they get to a move, and they also recognize that, but I'm very quick to the response. I now have G-Fisk on Snorlax, I have MEWTWO on Machamp, and I have a loaded rock slide for the Drifblim. This pretty much solidifies the game. And it just goes to show you, even if you're hard countered in the lead, the secondary matchup is really what matters a lot. If you are recognizing that you're able to flip switch advantage or at least get a shield, you gotta try to wiggle your way into an advantage wherever you can get it. I know I'm going to get farmed here, but I'm able to get to this rock slide, which puts it in easier farm down range for my MEWTWO. And out comes the Drifblim. I swap mid-animation to allow me to get off this rock slide, and there is nothing that this Machamp can do, and they know that, so they pretty much concede the match there. Good game. Tangrowth really coming in clutch in this game. That rock slide coverage was very, very nice. G-Fisk into... Oh, man. Can I win this match? Okay. So, I need to... Oh, do you like that right there? That was great, right? They got a fast move while they were throwing the charge move. I really enjoy that. I'm going to throw the dynamic punch here. This hits for neutral. Not going to do too much damage, but if I can somehow try to get a shield off of this Skarmory, that'll at least put me in some sort of slight advantage, because winning switch here is not what's going to help me. It's getting a shield advantage. Because I don't have a hard counter to Scrafty, as we know. There's my shield advantage. And I just immediately swapped the G-Fisk, and they actually come out with Jellicent. This was a terrible play on my part. This was a terrible play. Oh my gosh. If I just let my MEWTWO go down, and then bring out my G-Fisk, absorb all the damage from the Skarm, Earthquake the Scrafty, save both shields for my Tangrowth, I would have had this game much cleaner, but I'm making this just way too difficult for myself. Swapping all over the place. I now have to shield up the Skarmory's moves, which I really did not want to have to do. If I would have just let my MEWTWO go down, I would not even have this Skarmory to worry about right now, but it's just too aggressive on the swaps here. Out comes Scrafty. Do I get baited? Yes! It's so bad. That's so bad. I can't even overfarm here. I have a Jellicent to deal with still. I have a Jellicent to deal with. This foul play is going to hit like a truck. I can't get to a move. And I blew this game. There was a win con. I could have won this game despite that very difficult team comp if I would have just let it go down, taking my shield advantage, but no, I got too greedy. Prime example of a big mistake on my part. Oh, here's another great example of a big mistake. I don't have a hard counter to Kingdra. So the way that I should handle this is stay in with G-Fisk, throw any move, see what they want to do. If they shield, that's fine. Absorb a move, and then eventually go into my Tangrowth. Because look at this. Of course they get the debuff. And of course they shield my first move. So I am now going to lose switch advantage. And I had such a hard counter in the lead. That sucks. Now I have to bring out my G-Fisk and absorb all this damage. And hope that my Mewtwo can carry whatever's in the back. Unfortunate for me. Alright, I'm just going to absorb that damage. It is a Charm Ninetales. Boy, wouldn't it have been nice to still have switch advantage and not have to make these crazy swaps all over the place. Have to shield this up. I'm very curious to where they want to spend their shield though. So I have back-to-back side strikes. Gonna throw one and then see what they want to do. They shield that. Very interesting. So I'm going to throw one more confusion and then throw this side strike again. It's not enough to take it out. I have to... Oh, yeah. Okay. Watching this back now, I probably would have shielded that and committed to the farm down. Yep. You guys ever have those games where sometimes you just make a mistake early on and then it's just a steamroll effect of mistake after mistake? That's what this game was. Dude, just shield your freaking Mewtwo. Oh, man. Okay, good game. Unfortunate. Okay, tough lead. And this is the final game in the video here. All right. Hard counter with Skarmory. But again, this Rock Slide damage is pretty clutch here. And Machamp is so glassy, it's one of those counter users that G-Fisk can threaten it because the Earthquake is can do so much damage. So I need to farm up a bunch. I come in immediately because I want to just get a jump start on my farm here. They go Brave Bird, thanks. And then they actually switch into Politoed. Guess what? Mewtwo now wins this game for me, and they let me land the Earthquake. My G-Fisk is dead weight, right? Because they still have that Machamp. Who cares about the Skarmory? It's low enough where my Mewtwo can handle it. I'm throwing this Rock Slide, and they know it's a Rock Slide, so they don't shield. I'm forcing them to throw, so I'm staying in. G-Fisk is gone. Mewtwo will be able to easily clean this up. They're going to bring out Skarm, and it's so low that I can just save my shields for the moves that the Skarm will throw. Because these Weather Balls are not threatening, and then Mewtwo is easily going to be able to clean up this game. Yeah, Mewtwo's going to be able to clean up this game. But if you like this video and you like this content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I mentioned in some of my previous videos, but over half of my viewers are actually not subscribed. And you might not know it, but YouTube might have actually accidentally unsubscribed you from my channel without you knowing. Sometimes weird things like that happen. But make sure you're subscribed if you appreciate the content. Thank you all so much for watching. And I'll catch you in the next video, potentially with another team that can maybe handle Scrafty a little bit better. I'll see y'all later.